welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Red Carpet and we're coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 Future Female Forward event here in the vibrant city of Bengaluru. It is an event where we don't just put the spotlight on stories, we celebrate the success of women that have been barrier-breaking, path-defining and really inspiring in the many, many ways and the many achievements that they've had. So tonight, this evening, we're going to be speaking with a whole lot of them, celebrating them and hearing their stories and what it truly takes to move the needle when it comes to gender parity in the workplace, in the boardroom and beyond. To kick things off, I have with me a very interesting couple of people, the Skater Sisters as they're called, Shreyasi and Swarali. Thank you so much for being with us here and, it's so nice to have you.
Thank you for inviting us. It's an honor to be here.
Well, both of you just start by telling me, when did you really learn how to skate and why skating?
So I started when I was 3 years old and I saw a few people skating on my school playground and I just knew that I have to try this.
Okay, 3 years old, wow. What about you?
Same, I also started at the age of 3. I used to watch Shna before when I couldn't even walk and I fell in love with the sport before that. So after seeing Shna, I was like, this is the sport that I want to try. I was so curious and I started skating.
What has been, some of the hardest tricks to learn, you think, even now after all these years of skating?
So basically in our sport, we have to perform tricks on a single wheel. So they are like the hardest and it takes years of practice to master them. One specific trick is the toe Christie, where we have to sit on one toe and where our legs are crossed and then we have to balance on one wheel. So it takes like 2 to 3 years to perfect it.
Wow, I'm seeing something of that trend on social media also these days, women sitting cross-legged on one foot. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it's something like that, but on skates.
What's the kind of music that gets you really hyped up before you start to skate?
Maybe fast track songs that I can vibe to the beat and I can start with some basic footwork and then warm up my tricks.
Okay, what about you?
Maybe something motivational like Imagine Dragons. That's like the best.
What's the best piece of advice you've got as you've been skating through all of these years? Something you'd want other girls out there to also hear, because it seems like something that's tough to do, but seems like you might also enjoy it.
I think the most important thing is that have patience, because in this sport each trick takes years and years to perfect it, and during the competition also the floor changes and everything happens. So for a perfect performance we need to have patience and a lot of determination.
Okay, and what is the perfect performance to you?
I think the perfect performance is having a lot of confidence in yourself and believing that you can do whatever you have learnt before.
Well, you go, girls. But quickly tell me, has there been some woman in the, in the sports field that has truly inspired you? Somebody who you look up to?
I think there are a few skaters in my event. Her name is Sofia, and she was Russian, and currently she's not participating anymore. But before COVID, she was like the best player out there.
All right. And is there any particular sports person that inspires you?
Maybe someone like Mirabai Chanu, who shows off her strength it's important for women to have strength in powerlifting and sports like those.
Let's say 5-10 years down the line, you're very young girls. What is your ambition? What do you hope you'd be able to achieve?
I'm hoping that this sport gets introduced in the Olympics, so we can represent India and win many more medals for India there.
All right, that'll be wonderful. And, finally, what are you going to look forward to? Let's hope it gets included in the Olympics, if not.
I hope to be on the winning team in competitions like the World Championships or the upcoming World Games, which
I am a part of in August.
Oh, we wish you all the very best. When do we see it?
It's from 7th to 17th August in China.
All right, girls, we'll be rooting for you, and thank you so much for coming here today, and it's lovely to hear from both of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so that is the skater girl skating since the age of 3 and continuing to rock it. Up next, we also have someone very different but equally inspiring, somebody who calls herself the Weightlifter Mommy. Roshni Devi is going to be joining us next, and guess what? She started weightlifting at the age of 68, if I'm not wrong. थैंक यू सो मच आज यहाँ आने के लिए। आप बताइए आपने वेट लिफ्टिंग कब शुरू की, क्या इंस्पिरेशन थी, इस एज पे शुरू की, आपको what really started it all?
मेरे को घुटनों में गठिया बाह हो गया था।
हाँ,
तो डॉक्टर ने मना कर दिया था कि भैया आपको ज्यादा चलना फिरना ज्यादा मना है, भाई ज्यादा सीढ़ी चढ़ना भी मना है। और मैं एकदम, बेटा भी घबरा गया, मैं भी घबरा गई। तो 3-4 महीना फिजियोथेरेपी करवाई। तो उसके बाद बेटा बोल रहा था कि मम्मी चलो जिम में चलते हैं। मैं कहा, जिम में? भाई 2-4 हड्डी सी ये भी टूट जाएंगी, जिम जाना तो बहुत मुश्किल है हमको। तो ये बोला तो एक बार जाके देख तो सही। मैं नहीं नहीं भाई, लोग क्या कहेंगे, शर्म आएगी, मैं नहीं जा सकती। तो 68 साल की उम्र में मैं वेट लिफ्ट शुरू करी थी। उसके बाद फिर मेरे को धीरे धीरे, फिर बेटा ने मेरे को, जैसे माँ बच्चे को पालती है ऐसे मेरे को धीरे धीरे जिम लेके गया। तो उसके बाद फिर उसने मेरे को 6 महीना लग गया है करवाने के लिए। भाई थोड़ा थोड़ा करवाया उसने, ये नहीं कि एकदम करवाया। पहले 5 किलो उठवाया, फिर 10 किलो उठवाया, फिर 15 उठाया, फिर 20 उठाया, ऐसे करके मेरे को मेरे बेटे ने।
और अब आप 70 kg उठाते हो?
अब 70 kg उठा लेती हूँ, और वो ऐसे पकड़ने वाला 105 भी उठा लेती हूँ।
अरे वाह, आपके घर में कोई और है जो वेट लिफ्टिंग करते हैं?
नहीं, हमारे घर में कोई नहीं है, हमारे दोनों माँ बेटो हैं। बड़ा बेटा अलग हो रहा है, बेटी आपका ससुराल गई, तो हम 2 ही माँ बेटो से। तो सुबह ये 6 बजे चले जाता, मैं अपना काम को, घर का पूरा काम करके ना, और मैं चली जाती हूँ। फिर 8 बजे 8:30 बजे, अब ये बोल रहा था थोड़ा लेट आया कर, तो मैं 9:30 बजे तक चली जाती हूँ। तो 12 बजे तक आ जाते हैं। फिर
तो हेल्थ इशू की वजह से आपने वेट लिफ्टिंग शुरू की, लेकिन अब आपको इसमें मजा आता है, आप चाहते हैं आप और भी हेवी उठाएं?
घुटनों में गठिया बाह हो गया था ना, उसके वजह तो फिर डॉक्टर ने मना कर दिया था।
अच्छा।
कि भाई उम्र का गल अपना आपका तो भाई बढ़ेगा दर्द, घटेगा नहीं। तो बेटन तो 3-4 दिन नींद ही नहीं आई कि ये क्या होगा मेरी मम्मी के साथ ही। तो उसके बाद उसने भाई मेरे को 3-4 महीना फिजियोथेरेपी करवाई, तो उससे आराम तो हुआ, ऐसा नहीं ना है हुआ। तो लेकिन रोज की ऑफिस तो छुट्टी तो नहीं मिलती ना, फिर उसने छोड़ ही दी। फिर वो जिम में कोची ला गया, तो वो अब मेरे को भी करवाता, औरा को भी करवाता है। अब मेरे को अच्छा लगता है, अब मैं रोज करती हूँ, रोज जाती हूँ, पूरा हफ्ते जाती हूँ। संडे की छुट्टी होती है, तो भाई जैसे कोई इंटरव्यू आ गया तो मैं इंटरव्यू देने के लिए भी चल जाती हूँ संडे को, नहीं तो 6 दिन लगातार जाती हूँ। और कभी मेरे को ऐसे नहीं होता कि भाई आप थक गई, मैं काम नहीं होएगा, मेरे को ऐसा कभी नहीं होता।
आपके लड़कों ने वेट लिफ्टिंग आपसे इंस्पायर होकर शुरू नहीं की?
मेरे बेटे ने मेरी बड़ी मदद करी। मेरा बेटा नहीं होता तो मैं आज खाट पर बैठ जाती। मेरे बेटा इसने बहुत करा मेरे को, अभी भी मेरे को करे रहा है। अभी भी मैं अकेली कहीं जा नहीं सकती, इसी ये जाता है तो साथ ही ले जाता, नहीं तो फिर मैं नहीं जाती।
आपका मन करता है कभी किसी कंपटीशन में हिस्सा लें, ये वेट लिफ्टिंग, कभी बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाके ये करें?
सोच रहे हैं आगे थोड़ा सा करने की, क्योंकि मेरी तो ये आंगली 20 साल हो गया ऐसे ही रहती है। अच्छा। और कंधा हटाया हुआ है यहाँ से। अच्छा। ये रहा इसको, और ये यहाँ से ये पैर भी थोड़ा सा भाई, तो भी मेरे मैं अच्छे से ऐसे करके उठाती हूँ। ये ऐसे नहीं मुड़ती, ऐसे मुड़ती तो मैं 150 किलो उठा लेती, लेकिन ये ऐसे नहीं मुड़ती, फिर भी 70 किलो मार देती हूँ आराम से। कोई ऐसा नहीं कि भाई।
ये आपकी काफी इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी है, एंड आई होप जो बाकी विमेन आउट देयर जिनको लगता है कि शायद वेट लिफ्टिंग मुश्किल है, आदमियों का काम है, उनके लिए एक मैसेज आप देना चाहेंगे?
नहीं, ऐसा कोई मुश्किल नहीं है। देखो उम्र बढ़ेगी, लेडीज में मसल कम होती है, जेंट्स में ज्यादा होती है। तो आपकी उम्र बढ़ेगी, दर्द बढ़ेगा, कमर में दर्द होएगा, भाई घुटनों में दर्द होएगा। लेकिन ये भाई उम्र, कोई चीज की उम्र नहीं होती कि आप सोचो कि मेरी उम्र होगी मैं खाट पर बैठ गई। नहीं, आप कोशिश करो भाई, जिम में एक्सरसाइज करो, कसरत करो, पार्क में चली जाओ, घर में चली जाओ, जिम में चली जाओ, तो कसरत करोगा थोड़ी सेहत ठीक रहेगी। भाई 2 मानसा को आप संभाल भी सकते हो। अब आप खाट पर बैठ जाओगे तो आपको ये बात देखनी पड़ेगी कि मेरे को कोई पानी पिलाए तो मैं पानी पी लूं। लेकिन ऐसा किसी के ऊपर बोझ ना बनो कि भाई आप थोड़ा घना कसरत करो, कहीं भी करो। ये नहीं कि भाई जिम में जाओ, पार्क में जाओ, कहीं भी जाओ, घर में कर लो, लेकिन थोड़ा सा करोगा तो अपनी देह भाई बनी रहेगी, सेहत रहेगी, और मजबूती भी आएगी, तंदुरुस्ती भी होती है। ऐसा नहीं कि तंदुरुस्ती नहीं होती। और हमारा हरियाणा में तो पता है कि घूंघट में काम करती है लुगाई, पूरा घूंघट काट की सासू ससुरा साथी बोलती। आज तो थोड़ा सा जमाना बदल गया, तो थोड़ा सा हो जाता है। और मैं तो अंकल नेवी में थे, तो मैं शुरू से ही बाहर ही रही, छोटा पेट में था, जी बम्बई गई थी, जी पास बाहर ही रहती हूँ, तो एक्सपायर हो गए थे। फिर ये छोटा बेटा मेरे को भाई वो करता है, तो इसलिए ये गम भी खुला हो रहा है, गमा भी पर्दा पर्दा कमर है ऐसा नहीं तो पहले तो घूंघट काट की सारा काम। तो हरियाणा में तो जिम करना कोई शान बात कौन सा। हम तो दिल्ली में रहते हैं तो फिर भाई मेरे बेटा मेरे को बहुत करवाता है, बहुत मदद करता है। मेरे बेटा नहीं होता तो मैं आज खाट पर ही बैठ जाती।
आपकी कहानी सुन के बहुत इंस्पिरेशन मिली एंड थैंक यू सो मच यहाँ आने के लिए। एंड आई होप आपको देख के काफी औरतें वहाँ पे जो कसरत करना चाहती हैं वो ये सुन के इंस्पायर होंगी। एज सिर्फ एक नंबर ही है।
एज की कोई नहीं है। एज भी मेरी तो भाई 68 साल में लगी थी, मेरी 70 साल की होगी। तो उम्र अब जो लगी थी जबकि देखो और अभी को देखो तो मेरे को भाई एक तो मुंह
70 साल पे आप 70 केजी उठा रही हैं, 80 साल पे 80 केजी उठाएंगी।
हाँ कोशिश है मेरी कि मैं भाई और ज्यादा मेरे बेटा भी है कि मैं भाई और आगे ले जाएं और आगे ले जाएं। 4-5 बार बम्बई में भी बुला लिया तो हमारे को भी अच्छा लगता है कि भाई हमारे को मेरे बेटा बताता मैं पढ़ी लिखी तो हुई नहीं थी भाई। वीडियो मेरे बेटा ही बताता है कि भाई आज वहाँ बुला रहे हैं आज तो अच्छा लगता है कि भाई तुम्हारे से मिलते हैं बच्चे साथ तो अच्छा लगता है बेटा।
आपकी कमाल की स्टोरी हमें सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा। थैंक यू सो मच यहाँ आने के लिए। थैंक यू so much. That is weightlifting mommy, age 68 years. She started lifting with 70 kgs. Now at 70, she's continuing to do that. So any of you out there feeling lazy about lifting weights, you better start to take inspiration. Okay, so we'll continue to put the spotlight on the trailblazers here, the many women leaders that have joined us here at the Future Female Forward event in Bengaluru. Up next, we have somebody who's the master of wines. Let me invite her as someone who's created this unique position for herself. Sonali, thanks very much for being here. Quickly for our viewers, what does being Master of Wine really entail?
Master of Wine is a prestigious title and is widely regarded as the world's most respected title in wines. It's given by the Institute of Masters of Wine, and basically, currently, even as I speak, only 425 Masters of Wine exist across 31 countries around the world. And the reason why it is there are so few is because it's a very hard title to earn, and it is something that is awarded to you after you have passed some of the world's most rigorous exams that test your knowledge and the length and the breadth of your understanding of wines, not just in theory but also in through tastings.
Well, I'm glad to hear, and you're the first one in India to earn this prestigious title.
Yes, I earned this title in 2016 after 10 years of studying wines in London and of course practicing wine as a business and as an entrepreneur parallelly. But I'm also proud to say that I am as of yet India's only Master of Wine.
Well, that is something to be proud of. But tell us, why did you pick this? And, how did your journey really begin in this? Before you studied, what made you think that, this is what I want to do?
I used to work in the corporate world in a NASDAQ-listed Fortune 500 company as the director of national sales. And a point came when I really felt my growth had mentally, for me, stagnated. So I walked away from a 7-figure salary and wanted to deep dive into something completely uncharted. And I didn't know what it was, so I kind of went through in my head what some of the options could be, and wine as an idea came to me like a bolt of lightning. At that time, and I'm talking about 20 years ago, wine was a very nascent industry in India, even more so than it is today. And there were just a handful of wine producers producing wines and wines being imported in the country, and a very early yet a very enthusiastic interest in wine among consumers, but there were no qualified wine experts. So I kind of looked at this as a profession, and I looked to the West and I thought this is a thriving profession in the West, but there's nobody here doing it, like communicating, educating, advocating wines. And I thought, well, this could be something very exciting for me to do. So, but I knew nothing about wines at the time, so I had to embark right from scratch.
But look at you now. I'm sure your story has been an inspiration to many women around the world, in India especially. Who has been the biggest inspiration to you?
So I've been following. I was initially inspired by a world critic called Jancis Robinson. She's a prolific wine writer and she's done incredible things in the world of wine. So initially I was very inspired by her. But today I'm inspired by every single person. I've just released my memoir actually. It's called.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's called 1 in a Billion. It pays homage to the biggest compliment my daughter ever paid me. The day I earned the title, she walked over to me, hugged me, and she's like, "Mama, you're India's only master of wine that makes you 1 in a billion." So the book is more a homage to my lovely daughter, Rihanna. But the point being, everybody today is unique. And I'm always constantly advocating women to find their inner voice, discover their own passion, discover what's ticking, what's making them sort of feel invigorated, and just go for it. And so I am constantly advocating that we are all 1 in a billion, and it's about finding your 1 in a billion moment.
Well, that is a lovely story, and we wish you the best, Sonali. Thank you so much, and we'll wait to hear more from your book, and whatever happens next. And I'm sure your daughter is very proud. Thank you. Thanks so much.
I'm very excited to be here at the CNBC event. The Future Female Forward initiative is an excellent initiative, and I want to extend my heartiest congratulations to CNBC for this great initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to have you here. Thanks very much. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the first ever Master of Wine from India. But I'm going to now switch to a very different field of pharmaceuticals. And we have Shna Carminini from Apollo Hospital, who's also just joined us here. Shna, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You've been a sort of visionary as a leader, as the woman leader. You've had many brave, path-breaking career moves that you've made. Just start by telling us who have been some of the most inspirational women to you in your journey.
My sisters.
Of course.
That's mom, sisters. That's the easy one because I have 3 sisters. And I think that my mother from a very young age, even though having a powerful father and a mentor, she always said you need to be independent. I think if mothers give more messages like this to their daughters, India will definitely not have a problem of paucity of women leaders.
Well, as I was saying, you've broken many, many firsts. But which is the one that was the hardest and the one that you're proudest of?
I think sometimes everybody likes to say what happened early in my career. I think that maybe the best is yet to come with regard to our demerger and our IPO. But I think the first and the hardest is when I was really young in my 30s and was given the responsibility of pharmacy. And we had to take this, which was part of Apollo Hospitals, and try to give it and make it actually a company. And to do that, we had to give them a vision. So we said 1,000 days, 1,000 stores, 1,000 crores. We did it on the 900th and something day. So I think when you taste success like that, you start believing that you can do it. Yeah, and then the journey just kept going. So, and I do believe that it's never about, I can have as much belief as I want, and that would get me up in the morning, but it won't put food on everybody's plate. It's the team that everybody has to believe in.
And that's a wonderful message. But Shna, as a woman leader in the field of pharma, do you think enough is being done, whether that is R&D spends or otherwise, when it comes to women-focused health issues?
Actually, you're absolutely right that we might design a healthcare system for, that is run by so many women. It's easy to say that the parity is more for women here because you have nurses, doctors, so many healthcare ASHA workers. Yeah. But if you actually look at it, the healthcare is not designed for them. Yeah. With that, you might have this early, for child care, and you have a separate ministry for it, for women and child. Yeah. But the actual industry is not designed for that. Who is doing things for the life cycle of women? If you look at them from their early age, menstrual age, from the incidence of PCOS, whatever they have, nobody's really looking at this childbearing age beyond that perimenopause, menopause, aging. All this is I think something that we've neglected for too long. Even if you look at the medicines that were earlier done, the research, it's actually based on men. Absolutely. With that, they're biased to men. Yeah. So does that really work that well for us? So there are differences, and I think with the advent of AI, and no new invention, I believe, will be without an AI component or an AI agent riding on somebody's shoulder. This will get addressed.
But what are you, as a leader in this space, doing to really walk the talk, to change things on the ground at Apollo and otherwise?
So we are very fortunate that from our top leadership, if you look at our directors, we have many women directors. So the perspective to the boardroom, it starts from there, and it is focused. So we are doing lots of the Delhi, we just opened a women-centric cancer, center. So that's kind of rare at this point. So I think that from a physical point, but more than anything, our intervention will come also from us being so much in the digital world. We've seen that women consume, if they have that kind of a friction-free, if they can get on their phones and actually ask these sensitive questions or just use this to take pictures, get diagnosed early. Because sometimes if you see, they get diagnosed a bit too late. So if we can bring that one stage faster, I really think that it'll bring so much less stress to a family with this. So Apollo is doing that, and we're seeing good results in the way that we run our digital. There are more than 50% of women who actually consume and engage. And they're doing it not just mostly for their family, but something rubs off for themselves also, I hope.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that, Shobna, and we wish you the best with this. Thank you so much for your time and welcome here. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that was Shna Carminini from Apollo. But up next, we have some really special path breakers. You would have seen them in the news recently for breaking a world record of sorts. We have Lieutenant Commander Rupa A and Lieutenant Commander Dilna K joining us. Ladies, please, thank you so much for being with us here. And a huge congratulations on this record that you've achieved, circumnavigating the world. How does it feel representing India, representing Indian women for such a historic mission?
It feels great actually, because it was a 238 days journey and sailing more than 45,000 kilometers, and just two of us in a 17-meter boat. It was a life-changing experience. It was an empowering experience, and it feels great.
I felt really proud to represent India and the Indian Navy, and in all of the milestones and all of the stopovers where we were proud to represent our country and fly our national flag, and that itself is the greatest opportunity which I have had.
Well, so many days alone on a boat, it's unimaginable for a lot of us. Just tell us, for someone who's not aware, what kind of challenges do you face on a mission like that?
We faced many challenges, like we got heavy winds, rough seas, and we faced wind speed up to 50 knots and towering waves, and we rounded the Cape Horn, which is known as the Mount Everest of seas, and we had waves coming from all the directions, and it was crashing over the boat, and we were clinging onto the boat because we don't want to fall down. So it was very challenging when we went through the Pacific Ocean, and we faced varied weather conditions like cold and extreme hot conditions. So,
was there ever a moment where you thought, this is it? It'll be difficult to go on from here?
Yes, when we rounded Cape Horn, we felt we never.
Mount Everest in the ocean.
Yes, when we rounded Cape Horn, we never saw such oceans ever. It was really. It is still fresh in our mind how that night was.
Do tell us.
As I told you, like it was. The nature was very. We saw the nature at full force, at its full force, where. The waves were coming from all over the places, and the confused seas, and rounding the Cape Horn was really difficult. And
well, what was the toughest part of the journey for you?
Like you said, the weather itself was the most toughest part, but I feel expeditions and journeys like this test your endurance, the limits of your mental and physical toughness. And other challenge was the cold, where the Southern Ocean, it feels like a freezer. You're in a freezer where everything hurts. The wind hurt, the air hurt, the water hurt. Like you go out to do some work on the deck, and everything hurts because of the freezing temperatures over there. And the only heat source what we had, like our boat is like very basic, without any fridge or proper heater, and it's like open. So driving in such situations was like a survival most of the times, and doing this expedition without any major mishaps, taking care of the boat, maintaining ourselves and the boat was itself the biggest challenge.
After surmounting this huge challenging task, you've created a record. What next are you looking forward to?
we're looking forward to continue sailing and contribute more to sailing and do more challenging stuff ahead.
What is that more challenging stuff, I wonder now, after scaling the Mount Everest of the ocean?
Continue sailing and taking on more challenges in any field. Just taking on more challenges. That's it.
Just a quick word, because, women like you are truly inspirational for a lot of younger women out there. They're looking to join the Navy, perhaps may have a doubt in their mind that, this is something that may not be for me. Maybe it's too tough for me as a woman. A message for these, young people out there.
I think we should take one step at a time. It's okay to be slow. It's okay to take smaller steps. It's okay to make mistakes, but it's very important that we do everything consistently. If you're not consistent, then you're out of the game, and it's always better that you try rather than not trying.
Okay, better to try than not try. And finally, the biggest lesson about life that being in the Navy has taught you.
Being in the Navy and sailing these oceans have taught us and me very great lessons, and ocean has been the biggest teacher, and I've come back with with a calmer mind but a stronger spirit, and I've learned to respect and feel gratitude to all of the small things which I have in life, including my body and my mind. And this has been the most formative experience of my life.
Well, and it is truly inspirational, and congratulations again for this world record. We're all so very proud of you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies, from the Indian Navy. But we're going to move on to a very different industry. From the chip world, we have Jagadeesh from AMD joining us next. Jaya, if we could have you on the floor here. She will be with us shortly. We're waiting by. Jaya, thank you so much for being with us here. Women in the field of STEM, are we starting to see a bit of a difference, a change in mindset, more women coming forward, more opportunities being open for them now than, say, 10 years back?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's been a significant transformation starting from STEM education all the way up to women entering the engineering workforce and sustaining it. Yeah. But, maybe 20 years ago, the percentages were so low. Even with this transformation, we are still not at the 50% mark that we would like to see. Yes, we are getting there. It's significantly gotten better. A lot more awareness has been created, and organizations are doing quite a bit to promote more and more women coming to the workforce. And also, it's not just the entry, right? It's about sustaining them, because mid-career becomes extremely challenging for a lot of women because of life cycle changes. So we need policies that can encourage them, that can help them manage these challenges and continue to, in the workforce, continue to make a difference.
Well, Jaya, the world you come from, chip making, and it's powering the AI revolution today. But do you think AI as a technology is acting as this great equalizer even when it comes to gender parity for women in the field?
I wouldn't say it has acted as an equalizer. It has the potential. We have to use it accordingly to make a difference for us, because what are we doing with AI? We are training the future, and preparing ourselves for the future.
You're preparing yourself an alarm for the next task.
So some of these policies and frameworks we create, we cannot have even a hint of gender bias. So we need a lot more women who will be involved, who need to be involved in these policy makings or creation of this framework. So the training can't be done by a section of the population and will carry forward the biases. So it's more important how we use AI for the benefit of gender equity or, humanity. I think it's very important to have that awareness. AI itself has the potential, but how we use it is up to us.
All right, Jaya, thank you so much for being with us here, and we look forward to hearing more from you. Thank you. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, we're counting down to the main event, Future Female Forward. It's about to begin. So, hold on to your horses. We'll get you live coverage right here on CNBC.